I'm Harvey S. We're here with another episode of Harvey S on Tap. I'm here with my good friend Joe Carter. So how you doing, Joe?
Good, Harvey. Welcome back to Sacred Heart. We are honored that you're doing your podcast from our campus, and it's good to see you as always.
Thank you. I love it here. It's such a great school, and I've had many great moments here, and probably, hopefully, more to come.
Absolutely.
And I'm having one today.
I know that you recently did or were part of a tribute to Sheila Jordan presentation in Manhattan. And I wasn't able to attend, but I heard that there was a story that you spoke about at the presentation that created quite a buzz. So I'd like to hear that story, and I'm sure our listeners would like to also, if you would please.
Well, yeah, okay. When we were going to do the tribute, I was thinking of, they want me to say something for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. And I had kind of had a story I was going to tell. But when I got there during the sound check, Tracy, Sheila Jordan's daughter, brought in a pile of hats and berets that were Sheila's, and she put them out and told the musicians, because we're all there, friends of Sheila had been, and so she put all the hats out and everyone took one. And I was thinking, well, this is made me think of a story. Now, I had never told this story to anyone, and I never even talked to my wife about it. I never told anybody this story. It was just kind of buried in there. So I told this story, and it seemed to really resonate. So I thought it would be good to have it on the podcast, even though I think you can probably maybe hear it from the, there's some posts about it, but this would be better fidelity and, much, much better.
And from the source.
And this is also from the source. So anyway, I toured with Sheila Jordan, bass and voice for, 14, 15 years. And we were doing a tour in France, and we were going to the Basque Country. So on the way there, I was saying to Sheila, I said, Sheila, we're going to be there a couple of days early. Let's get some berets, and we can blend in, and we can be really cool, because we'll be there. And Sheila said, yeah, great. So we I think at the airport or whatever, we both bought berets, and we brought them with us, and we're feeling so cool about that. So we get to the town, and the first day we're there, and it's in the afternoon, and I said, Sheila, let's go for a walk. And, we put our berets on, and we're walking down the street. And while we're walking down the street, all these people were looking, laughing at us, and looking. And we were the only people in the whole town that had a beret.
So much for blending in, right?
So much for blending in. It was a total bust. So this started a thing that I got into where I started to make up this French accent.
Uh-oh.
Sound like a bad version of Maurice Chevalier. But Sheila loved it. So I go, oh, Sheila, how are you today? Oh, did you have a nice day? And would you like to get some breakfast later? So, I would just made up, and Sheila would laugh, and we would just, and she'd go, oh, Harvey, you're such a fool. And we'd just laugh. And this went on. We were always, so we're back in New York, and I'd call up, oh, Sheila, how are you today? We have a rehearsal at 7:00. We just did all this crazy stuff. So this goes on, periodically. So now it's one morning, it's 6:00 in the morning. Sheila gets a phone call. Hello, the other thing is, I made up a name. Sheila, this is Francois. I had to make up a French name. And Francois is about the most standard French name you can.
It's the John Smith of.
It's the John Smith
names,
of France. So I'm calling up Sheila all the time, But she gets a call at 6:00 in the morning. Hello, this is Francois, and I have a gig in France, and I would like you to. She goes, listen, Harvey. She says, I love when we joke around with the French accent. It's been funny. It's great. But it's 6:00 in the morning, and you just woke me up, and I have to work today. And she hangs up the phone. Wasn't me.
It was Francois.
It was a guy from France with the name Francois who called her for a gig. And so then he calls back and he goes, do not hang up. Don't hang up. I am not Harvey. I am Francois. And this goes, so she eventually talks to the guy. So then Sheila called me up that day and she told me the whole story. We were laughing so hard. So anyway, that was kind of the thing that went on. So after that, I stopped with the French accent, and I never did it again.
Good decision. This story is great on a lot of levels. And for me, it shows the relationship you had with Sheila. You weren't just working musicians or musicians working together. You were friends. You were friends who could create scenarios like this, who could joke around. And sometimes the joke would last, it sounds like, for years.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like you had a very wonderful relationship with Sheila.
Yes, we did. Sheila had what I loved about, well, the many things I loved about Sheila. She had a great sense of humor. And she really could laugh at things. And that was what she loved to do. She wasn't a joke teller. She wasn't the one that initiated. But you start joking around, and she just was so happy and loved to laugh. So, yes, that was it. But that was the beret story, and everyone seemed to like that.
Very good, very good.